What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you stopping by, spending a few minutes of your time here with me today. Today I wanted to share with you a short story. Alright? So, I was homeless for about a year in Florida. And when I say homeless, I don't mean that I was couch surfing or jumping from like this friend's house to that friend's house. I was homeless like going from this bench to that bench, from this sidewalk to that sidewalk, sleeping, using a water bottle as my pillow. Alright, this sort of homeless. But it wasn't all bad. Okay? I actually had a lot of good times, and believe it or not, I met a lot of good people. Now, I also met a lot of bad people, a lot of idiots, but the important thing is that I learned from them both. Alright? Now, one of the people that I met, we'll call him Chuck. I met Chuck because once or twice a week, I would show up at the Salvation Army for dinner. If you didn't know, the Salvation Army serves a dinner every day at 5 o'clock. And so, going there, I began to become familiar with certain faces I would see on a regular basis. And Chuck was one of these faces. And he was sort of hard to get to know. He had a very tough exterior, right? Very intimidating guy. Chuck was like 48 years old, 6'3", 6'4", 220 pounds, and very loud, very boisterous, and always drunk. Just like everybody else who was out here, Chuck had his issues. But one of his main things was drinking. You could find Chuck any day with the same two gentlemen always drinking, always just having a good old time. Getting into trouble here and there, you know. Right? But I spent some time getting to know Chuck, and it turned out that he is a very kind, very gentle, very caring, compassionate, and generous person. Right? Once you get to know him. Once you become familiar to him. So, one day I showed up at the Salvation Army, and I could hear Chuck somewhere angry. And so I started to look around, and he was at the front of the line trying to gain entry to the cafeteria. But the employee that was working that day, that was acting sort of as the doorman, almost like the bouncer, had denied Chuck an entrance because he was drunk. He had been drinking all day. He was louder than normal, somewhat belligerent, right? And the Salvation Army has a strict policy prohibiting such behavior, right? There is no intoxication. There is no possession of drugs or alcohol of any kind on the premise, because there are certain people that are there staying as more permanent residents that are in rehabilitation programs. For their safety and their well-being, there are strict policies prohibiting this, right? So the employee who knows Chuck and who cares about Chuck, unfortunately has to tell Chuck to step aside and that he's not allowed in. Alright? Especially while he's acting like this. And I could just see that the situation was escalating quickly. Right? And I care about Chuck. I don't want him to get in trouble. Because the Salvation Army, they'll just call the cops on you, alright? They're not going to sit here and fight with you and argue with you about who's right, who's wrong. They're just going to call the cops, and you're going to be escorted off the premise if you're lucky. If you're unlucky, you're going to jail. Right? So I don't want to see that happen to my friend Chuck. So I go over there and I tap him on the shoulder, and I'll never forget Chuck. Okay? Because this is how he would greet me. He was extremely excited. I was like a celebrity in his eyes because I wasn't from here. I had no business being here. My parents literally lived on the other side of the train tracks in a tower overlooking the entire city. So what was I doing down here? But like I said, everybody's got their demons, right? So I tap Chuck on the shoulder. He says, "Hey, brother!" This is how he talks all the time. "Hey, brother, how's it going today? I'm so glad to see you." I say, "Hey, man, what's going on? I see you're angry. I got something to tell you. Can I talk to you real quick?" Okay? I'm trying to diffuse the situation for my friend. And because he trusts me, he comes with me for a moment. And I ask him a simple question. It's just whatever popped into my head. I said, "Chuck, man, what's your favorite animal?" He got confused. He said, "What?" "I don't know, brother. An eagle." I said, oh, sweet, awesome, dude, I love eagles. I said, did you know that eagles sometimes mate for an entire lifetime? And they return to the same nesting site year after year, generation after generation. And they build on to the nest. And an eagle's nest can get as large as 10 feet in diameter and weigh as much as 2,500 pounds. Huge, right? So like those old commercials you would see, like the big bird of prey snatches Bugs Bunny and puts him in this giant nest, and there's like skeletal remains of all of the other victims in the nest. That could actually happen. And Chuck is like, wow, how do you know this, brother? How do you know all this stuff? I said, I don't know, man. But I was in the process of diffusing the situation, right? Chuck was finally cooling down. And I was thinking that eventually I could get him to go get in line with me and settle down, and we'll try this again, try to gain entry to the building again without any trouble. But the employee who, like I said, knows and cares about Chuck as well, has saw this taking place, that he was simmering down, he was calming down. He went inside and made a to-go tray for Chuck. All right? So, I mean, such a nice thing to do. And when I saw him approaching, I had the biggest smile on my face. I was like, success. You know what I'm saying? Like, I successfully de-escalated this situation. My friend Chuck here isn't going to get in trouble. He's not going to jail today, and he's getting some food. So it's a total win in my book, right? The employee's got a smile on his face. He's probably feeling like he's doing his good deed for the day, helping somebody out that he cares about, right? And he comes over with the tray, and he puts it in Chuck's hands. And Chuck is stunned. He takes the tray, he looks down at the tray, he looks back up at the employee, and he takes the tray and he slams it in the trash can. Boom! Fuck you! I want it in the building! And just goes completely off the rails. And I'm like, whoa. I just went like this and went and got back in line. Hey, it is what it is. The moral of this story, okay, is that not everybody's here to eat, bro. Not everybody is here to eat. Some people are just here to have a good time. Some people are here to get drunk. Some people are here to get high and get angry. Huh? Some people are here to be sad, here to be depressed. Some people are here to work. Some people are here to be ambitious and chase their dreams, change the world. Some people are here to dream. But not everybody is here to eat, bro. Until next time, I hope you continue to free your